So if you read your Bible, if you really, really read it, or if you are a theologian, or however you say that, or you're into the metaphysical side, or spiritual side, or esoteric side, or all these things, everybody knows there's a great mystery, a great mystery. Again, God did so many glorifying things through so many glorified people, but yet this whole time there's talk, and now see a lot of the time too, people don't understand the metaphors or the message in the message, the story in the story. It's so beautiful. Anywho, I made a video yesterday about it being a love story, that we missed it, that the mother and the father sacrificed the child to get glory, and they were harvesting the energy, the pain, the suffering, the keeping the anguish, fueling the black hole sun instead of the righteous sun, right? And standing firm on what real love is, what real sacrifice is, and that instead of the point being the loss or the pain or the anguish, it was always meant to be about love. And I mentioned the Queen of Heaven, and I mentioned the Lamb's wife. And then I love the Bible so much. Like, I just love it. I love God. I love Jesus so much. Like, love, 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 love. Okay? But even when I know, every time you think you know, He shows you just how much you don't know. So then today, I'm out on my trampoline reading my Bible, and again, I kept getting hit with like these realizations, like that the men, the brothers, the tribes, and the consciousness that we are all one. We are Him, He is us, and et cetera, et cetera. And understanding the consciousness, and I've had other videos where I explain how consciousness can be removed out of your spirit and your flesh vessel into an animal, or another person. However, even when you know, you don't know. So again, He's such a trickster too, not in like a bad way, but again, because He has to be. Yeah. Look at all the things they did to Christ. Look at all the things in the name of God. Look at all the false prophets and false priests and corrupted schools, corrupted government, corrupted everything, corruption, And then again, how on the side of, and I mentioned God and Satan being brothers, or the same man, if you will, because there's light and dark, two sides of the same coin. And again, how hard must it be to accept on either side of the coin that somebody can love you wholly, righteously, purely, without judgment, which is a little bit insane if you think about it, given that God's love for us, it's so pure and so graceful and righteous and with good intentions. But then it's almost like, how come you can give the love so fully, but yet not receive it so fully, sir? My Lord, I wish to ask you that. But I'm blushing because I'm like, this is so sweet. Anyway, but if you read, He says many times that we have eyes and we see, but we don't see. We have ears and we hear, but we don't hear. He's like, I could tell you these things, but even if I told you, you wouldn't listen. You wouldn't understand. You're not grasping. You're not picking up what I'm putting down. Okay? And again, I mentioned before about the love. But it is love. That's the love story. He's just like in this the Book of Solomon, the Songs of Solomon, the Book of Psalms. These are all love songs. These are love stories. He's writing letters to his beloved, to his partner, to his divine union, to his soulmate, to the mother. So there's the father and the mother, the father and the son. The son has the mother is the mother of the children, of God's kingdom. So again, if you read between the lines, and he says to these things like, to my true companion, I urge you also, true companion, help these women who labored with me in the gospel. He's saying, brethren, to the brothers, he's like, then there's another part, he says, but I trust in the Lord to send Timothy to you shortly, that I may also be encouraged when I know your state. For I have no one like-minded who will sincerely care for your state. For all seek their own, not in the things which are of Jesus Christ, or Christ Jesus. But you know his proven character, that as a son with his father, he served with me in the gospel. He's telling you that's God and Jesus, but using different names and in different times, right? But he's also saying, therefore, I hope to send him at once, as soon as how I see it goes with me. But I trust in the Lord that I myself shall also come shortly. But again, he's like, yes, I considered it necessary to send you my brother, fellow worker and soldier, but your messenger and the one who ministered to my needs, since he was longing for you all and was distressed because he heard that you were sick. For indeed he was sick, almost to death, but God had mercy on him, and now not only him, but on me also, lest should I have sorrow upon sorrow. So again, this is like, it's really so beautiful. I don't know, you have to, the more I say it, I sound crazy, but if you know, you know. And again, you can go and read for yourself. But as you're reading the story, even as they're, just think of it like with a code, like you know, you used to do like the secret, like languages in school, or like ciphers, right? So imagine it's like a cipher, or an embedded program code that you put into a simulation. So, and again, you would have to, right? You have to test the bugs, test the kinks, test the characters, test, and we as humans in the flesh, we are all about distrusting things and having to prove things. And this tale as old as time is God and the devil both wanted proof. They wanted the proof of the love, the proof of the sacrifice, the proof of the righteousness. And they got a bit carried away with it. And those boys need a little time out talking to, because again, but it's also, it makes sense. And because again, when you have so much against you, it's hard to believe anybody could be for you. And our ego, or our brothers, or sisters, or mothers, or fathers, or the shadow self, right? We never really fully believe that it can be real. But it's real. The love is real. The partner, she is real. She's always been real. She's always been there. And again, through all the tests and the timelines and the tricks and the mimics and the pain and the loss, there was no pain or loss. There was no love lost. If anything, it made her love you more. It made her not pity you, but want to protect you from anybody else who is trying to be false. Even if it, and again, she maybe stayed away so long or stayed quiet so long because who was she to come between your mother and father or your brother or your purpose for the world? Because you are the light. But maybe, and by doing that, because she didn't realize her own words and her own light to help your light be even more bright, right? So that we can ascend all the way to God together as we're meant to. And that, but it also, and it says too in the Bible that a son or a daughter comes out from under their parents and joins their husband or wife. And they are now a bonded family. And so, so it's, again, tricky. So she meant well, but for the long time she didn't realize, too, that sometimes even when you think you're walking for the Lord and walking in God's purpose or you're doing what's best for people, it's not what's best for people, or you're misunderstanding and misinterpreting. And sometimes it could take us 40 years to get the real message or the real righteous act or words. Or it might take us 4,000 years and thousands of timelines and do-overs and but every time God said through Jesus, I'm doing new things, and you just have to trust in Him. And sometimes that means standing up for something or stepping down from something. And the Antichrist and the greatest mystery is that we are God, God is all us, and that Jesus is here and it's always been here, and the fighting himself maybe, but also because the love, he had a love. The Lamb had a wife, and the family and the tribe had such a vision of what it was supposed to look like and was supposed to sound like, and because of the sacrifice of this and the pain of that and what they felt was meant to be the image or the tale, so that again they would have had to keep it hidden until the time was right. But Christ always said, I'll be back, and the great mystery will be solved. I have left it here for you. And again, because Christ was put up on a pedestal and glorified, and there's always talk about false idols and false altars and false temples and false this and false that, and we feared the Antichrist because, again, what if the Lamb coming with and joining his wife and the King and the Queen back on the throne of the new heaven, of the new earth, of the new story, because they corrupted the old one? That would be scary, because as man, and I mean mankind, is new things are scary, especially if the foundation of our entire existence we've gotten wrong. But isn't that the funny thing about, that's what being mature is, and admitting, though as man of the flesh we never like to admit that, but so many flippin' times we got it wrong. We've done so much wrong because good deeds, our best intentions don't always make good deeds. And sometimes it takes stepping back and removing the emotion, sometimes even removing the logic and looking for the full picture, the magic, the love, the pain, the reasons behind everything. It's so easy to decode and decipher when you really move and walk with love and don't let all the pain and all the bloodshed or all the bitterness or generational trauma and programming to interfere with the actual message. And the actual message is and always will be love. That's the great mystery, is that they hid the Lamb's wife in plain sight. The whole book is the correspondence that maybe even never got to be sent. But imagine if it did get to be sent, it would have to go to the brothers. It would have to go to the heads of the churches or somebody safe. Because, first of all, in the times, women couldn't walk around by themselves. Women couldn't own property. Women were property. And again, not in the way you think, but just like in the way that a woman is meant to submit to her husband, right? Or again, there's this part, they talk about the bondservant. So we're all meant to be in servitude to the Lord, and especially she would be. Anyways, I'm getting off tangent because I'm like, anywho, go read the book. It's such a great book, and if you think about the love instead of the loss, instead of the life and wars, even Jesus tells us you will hear rumors of wars. You will hear of wars. You will hear of rumors of wars. He said, I'm going a place you cannot follow, but I'm going to make rooms in my Father's house, for it has many rooms. Why would I say this if it not be true? But it's such a beautiful story, and you should really go and read it.